Don't mess it up this time. Don't mess it up this time. Don't mess it up this time. Hello and welcome to Season 18, Episode 9 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have both legs of the Champions League quarter-final against Galatasaray. There's a Premier League game in between the two, but we won't worry about that. Since you were last with me, where was it? We were around here somewhere, weren't we? The Man United game. Forgot all about that one. Horrific. League form hasn't been great since then, actually. We're having a bit of a wobble. So we beat Liverpool, but then we lost 2-0 against Arsenal and just scraped a win against Villa. So the league situation at the moment, with 6 games left, we're 4 points clear of Chelsea. We should still be able to do it. If we look at our run-in, it's not particularly terrifying. So hopefully we'll be able to get the league wrapped up. And as and when we get to a game where we could win the league, I'll obviously make sure that one appears in a live com. But aside from that, the focus is all about the Champions League now. We need to win it this season. Obviously, by the end of this episode, we might have been knocked out of it, if previous form is anything to go by. We've also got an FA Cup semi-final against the old boys at Ipswich, which is going to be a fun one. To be honest, it might even be the reserves going out in that game, though. That's who's played in the FA Cup all season so far. Certainly, depending on how this Southampton game goes, if we don't win that and we need to win against Sheffield Wednesday, and then we have a Champions League semi-final around here somewhere, we won't be risking any players to try and win the FA Cup again. So, the team that we're playing against Galatasaray, we are still suffering from those injuries. Let me take the youngsters off. The squad is still fairly depleted. We're struggling a bit for strikers. Verelst is injured. Again, he's been injured all season. It's ridiculous. Gilberto is injured. Who else is injured? Balsamo is injured-ish. I've got him on the bench, but he probably shouldn't be there. But if we need him, we'll bring him on. Gomez just coming back from injury. So it's not ideal, but at least we've got João Roberto back. Although he's only back-ish. It's his first game back from an injury that he's had himself as well. So throwing him in purely because we need him. I mean, he's got 31 goals this season in an injury-ravaged season, so he's doing all right. He's actually been left out in the last couple of Brazil squads as well, so I think his international career, just like Gilberto's, might be coming to an end, which might extend his Man City career a little bit. But this is the team that we're playing today. Donnarumma in goal, Dolezal, Murat, Semenov and Osborne as our back four, Koulibaly and Jans in midfield, and Putu, Tigana and Ayrton behind João Roberto. If that team is not good enough to knock Galatasaray out of the Champions League, we're destined never to win it. Because, I mean, look at that team. That's a good team. It seems that the game doesn't want me to get into it, though, so we're just going to sit on this processing screen forever. I'll enjoy a sip of my Pepsi Max while that happens. If any soft drink companies are interested in sponsoring the channel, I am open to bribes. To be honest, I'm fairly indifferent. Pepsi Max, Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper even. As long as it's not one of the lemony ones. Don't want Sprite or 7-Up or anything like that. But if you're one of the brown beverages, get in touch at Lollujo on Twitter. We'll have a chat, I'll name a price, and then I'll drink your beverage. And you'll see me drinking, if you suddenly see me drinking out of cans a lot more on the episode, know that that's probably happened. Right, we're off. We want an early goal. Obviously, we're away in this first leg, so priority number 1, score a goal. And then priority number 2 is avoid defeat. So, I mean, a 1-1 would be fine. I mean, even something like a 2-1 deficit isn't insurmountable, but hello, we're 1-0 up after 6 minutes. Obviously winning the match would be our preference, and Tigana puts us 1-0 up. I think that might have been a header. I've never seen that man score a header before. He's actually in quite good goal scoring form at the moment, which is good because he's finally starting to take on the Gilberto role. So the cross comes in from Osborne, and yeah, it's a lovely header as well. Placed just about perfectly. He skids off on his knees and then gets up to celebrate. It's kind of a reverse celebration. Often you see the runaway and then the knees. Tigana doesn't do things the way other people do. Oh, for goodness sake. As his knee getting up in mid-slide. Right, now we've got that same problem that we had before, in that we don't have Gilberto. Now Tigana's gone. So Boma is going to have to play as an attacking midfielder in the Champions League. Once again, it's not his usual position, although he is supposedly natural there. And what a free kick from Ayrton. I don't know if I've ever even seen him hit a free kick before. Usually Gilberto's on free kicks. Obviously, he's not playing today. And Ayrton's just stepped up and said, oh yeah, by the way, I can hit perfect free kicks as well. You perhaps should have given me a go at some point. And I like the fact he does the whole Arrow tribute. He knows I'm wearing an Arrow hoodie. You can't see it. It's a big belly burger hoodie off of Arrow. Awesome. Right, 2-0 up. This wasn't expected, really. I mean, if we can get another one now, we can pretty much have this tie wrapped up. And Ayrton's in again. We're 3-0 up after half an hour. I mean, we're now at the point where we just don't mess up. If we can just not do anything stupid, we should be in the Champions League semi-final, which is uncharted territory for us, really. I haven't even looked at who else is in the competition. I know we're the only English club left, but I haven't seen who else is still around. Osborne with the cross in now. Ayrton to Umputu. Are we going to make it 4? That was a good save. That was probably the best chance we've had so far. Still not had a clear-cut chance. I mean, it's been the theme of this season. Score lots of goals, don't really create many clear-cut chances. I don't get it. It's not something we've ever had at any point during the rest of this save, but for whatever reason, this season, that seems to be how we roll. Right, let's just not let Galatasaray back into the game. I'm tempted, and it's been sort of 3 years since we've done anything like this, but I am tempted to go defensive. Oh, João Roberto's in here, running really slowly. You can tell he's not match fit, but Ayrton is, and knocks it back to Osborne. Jans, someone get the cross in. That was weird, but Dolazal with a chance to cross to João Roberto. Again, a little bit slow to react. A fully fit João Roberto. You would have expected a goal there, but I'm not going to complain. 3-0 up at half time, away from home. That'll do. Right, let's just not do anything stupid in this second half. I mean, if I was taking the team talks, which obviously I don't because Matt Kilgallen is a wise man, far wiser than I will ever be, I'd like to see him take over at City when I depart, but I've got a feeling when I resign, he'll come with me like he did when I was at Ipswich, which would be a bit of a shame because I'd like to see him take over, but they'll get some nobody. I mean, they'll go back into their same thing they did when Mourinho left, and they'll have 4 managers in 3 seasons or whatever it is they went through, trying to find the right man again. Right, substitution time. Umputu is struggling for fitness a little bit. I don't want to bring a Balsamo on though. We don't need to risk him in this situation, so I think I'll just bring Zing on and make him an inside forward coming in from that left hand side. He's done it plenty of times this season now. We should probably train him into that position. And I actually probably should have taken João Roberto off, who's struggling for fitness. But then so was Umputu. Oh, it's difficult. Oh, João Roberto. What was he doing back there? But he's clearing off the line. I don't care why he was there. That was awesome. Right. What are we going to do now? We need another change. See, Murat is struggling. Osborne's struggling. João Roberto's struggling. I think I'm inclined to bring Ricky Simpson on, probably for Murat, because, I mean, he's down below 60% condition. I'll just swap those two over, because Simpson's right-footed, Semenoff is left-footed. Ricky Simpson's getting a lot more game time at the moment as well. He's a regular starter for my England team, who, incidentally, won 11-0 the other day. Beat Faroe Islands 11-0, and Modou Fall scored me my first 10 out of 10 performance on FM16. He scored 6 goals, which also popped a little achievement for me, broke England's goals in a game record. That's frustrating. I mean, that just opens the door ever so slightly for Galatasaray to get back into this, back in Manchester, especially as they're now going to be in the ascendancy. Is Donnarumma wearing trousers? I've never known him wear trousers. What's he wearing trousers for? Turkey's hot. I don't understand some people. Trousers, indeed. We need to keep an eye on that. If we notice him wearing trousers again, I need to have a word. It might be time to move him on if he's going to become a trouser goalkeeper. But trousers aside, that was pretty much everything we could have wanted. It's a bit of a shame we let Galatasaray back into the tie at the end there, but I think a 2-goal cushion, 3 away goals going into the home leg. You would like to think a semi-final appearance should be in our future. I'll go and play the Southampton game in the mystical offline world that I live in, and then no time will pass for you. In like 5 seconds, we'll be back with the second leg. Quick bit of Premier League news before the second leg. We beat Southampton. Chelsea didn't win their game, so now 5 games to go, 6 points clear. I think we've got this. And hopefully we've got this as well. So the team for Galatasaray's second leg. Not massive. I can't remember who was playing in the first leg. I know Balsamo wasn't, so he's in. Playing as an advanced playmaker with Ayrton still as the winger. Boma stays in the attacking midfield role. And other than that, I think we're unchanged from the first leg. There's a few players coming back to fitness now. We've got Zing back on the bench as well, which is very handy. And a bit more strength in depth on the bench now with Gomez and Umputu and Zing, Simpson ready to come on if needed. But hopefully the 2-goal cushion and the nice hatful of away goals that we've got from that first leg should mean this is fairly straightforward. But we all know that's not how the Champions League has worked in the time we've had at Manchester City. It's not like that wonderful Europa League run that we had with Ipswich, winning it in our first season. Champions League is proving to be a much harder nut to crack. An early goal would certainly settle the nerves a little bit. Mateza to our don't know names of my own players. Galatasaray breaking here. This is a worry. If they get the early goal, it becomes a whole different thing. But luckily we've got the ball back. Osborne now, what can he do? It finds Ayrton. Ayrton through to João Roberto. João Roberto's in, and we have that all-important early goal. His 33rd goal of the season. The hairless wonder is in again. Am I safe exhaling? I know there's only 12 minutes on the clock. I think an exhale is appropriate at this point, because surely we can't mess it up from here. Can we? I hope not. Oh, it would be horrific if we did. I think I'd just have to retire from YouTube if we manage to throw away this situation now, because we've got to win this, haven't we? No news on the sponsorship front, by the way. So I've been drinking my Pepsi Max off camera. I have a Coke Zero as well that I'm keeping my options open at the moment. We're in again. João Roberto's in again. It's 2-0. We are into the Champions League semi-final. I think it's safe to say that now. Galatasaray need to score 5 goals away from home, and they've not looked like doing that at any point. So unless something spectacular happens, their goalkeeper's not even trying anymore. He's had enough. He's bored of the flying, I guess. Doesn't want to keep flying around Europe. Wants an early summer holiday. Not got any of that pesky international league stuff to worry about like the English-based players have. Or English players, not English-based players. Not many of these Brazilians are playing in the European League of footballing countries, or whatever it's called. If it's not called that, it should be. Mateza crosses in. Oh, I don't even know who that shot came from. It's pinball in there. I have no idea who those. I think Koulibaly had a shot. João Roberto might have had one as well. It was all a bit hectic, and it's a bit. That was our first clear-cut chance. And again, we've scored the 2 that weren't clear-cut chances. The clear-cut chance we managed to miss, because that's what we do now. João Roberto hits the crossbar. That must have been another. But again, that's not a clear-cut chance, even though you'd think it is. He's got a free header inside the 6-yard box. He doesn't usually miss from there, and it cannons back off the crossbar. Right, we've got the FA Cup semi-final in 3 days' time. Do we start looking ahead at that? Or is that getting a little bit ahead of ourselves? How likely are Galatasaray to come back into this in the second half? I would say it's unlikely. If we can go in 2-0 up, we can surely start resting some of these tired legs who've had to play in all these games during this run of injuries that we've had. Balsamo is the obvious one. It probably needs to come off maybe 15 minutes into the second half. He's not played for quite a long time. We don't need to risk having him out even longer than he's been already. So I think give it another 10-15 minutes and Umputu will just slot into that position. He's played a lot of games though, which is part of the thinking behind not playing him today, because he has played a lot of games. Surely not. Hopefully that's just a consolation goal. Oh yeah, we scored in Manchester. Look at us, aren't we good? Because if that's anything more, if they score another one now, then I start to worry a little bit. You see my panicked face come back. Ideally, we get another goal now just to put the game to bed. So Mateza loses the ball, but Balsamo picks it up. Back to Mateza again. Koulibaly has got about 4 men on him there. Why are they marking our deep-lying playmaker? I do not know, but they seem to be scared of him. In fact, he's probably box-to-box midfielder today. Oh, they're in again. No, surely we're not. No. Oh, God. I don't like Toto. The band were super. Were they a band? Good song. Only one-hit wonders. Toto, you're a one-hit wonder. There you go. You've had 2 goals now. Quite frankly, you're not doing your name justice now. Pack it in. What was that? Okay, we got a corner. I thought it was just a really weird, weak cross. Koulibaly should have scored there to just ease some of the nerves a little bit. I do not want... Oh, he does put it away this time, though. He heard me. He knew I was going to blame him if he didn't sort it out from his previous miss. And, I mean, he has absolutely thumped that in there. Semenov actually knocks it down to him, and he just absolutely leathers that on his left foot. Never in any doubt at all. He wants a Champions League win. He's coming to the end of his City career now. He's in his 30s at this point. Ayrton's made it 4, and we can have our party again because we're into the semi-final again. It feels like I've said that twice already in this episode. It's been a bit of an odd one. I didn't expect to concede as many goals as we have in this tie, but Ayrton has he's played pretty well across the 2 games for a man who hasn't really been playing that regularly over the last year, 18 months. But injuries have forced him back into the side in the last probably 3 or 4 months now. He's played a lot of football and he's enjoying being back in the team. He's trying to remind me why I probably shouldn't drop him again when everyone is back fit. Right. Balsamo's coming off because we don't want to risk him any. We've kept him on longer than I wanted to, really. And I'm going to take Jans off as well. Bring Gomez and Umputu on. I like having strength in depth and a good bench like we've got today. And, I mean, it would suit me not to have any more highlights. I think we need to take João Roberto off. He's struggling a little bit for fitness. We certainly can't risk an injury for him. That would just completely derail any hopes we've got of winning the Champions League if we lost our main source of goals. Why is he taking the free kick all the way back there? Is he trying to do as Gilberto? Is he trying to end his career as a sweeper for us? He seems to be getting deeper and deeper every game. He's still scoring lots of goals, but he's popping up in our half and in our penalty area far more often than he ever has before. Obviously, trying to make sure that once the goals do dry up, he still gets to get the odd game here and there. And to be honest, he's on a 4-year contract on about £500,000 a week, so he can play for as long as he wants. Or at least he's going to pick up a paycheck until he's about 80. Galatasaray have scored again. Now, I don't think there's reason to worry, other than the fact that we've now conceded 3 goals at home, which is a bit of a reason to worry. Yes, we're outscoring them, but they're not exactly the cream of Europe. And it's a worrying thing for depending on who we get in the next round, because we don't really want to be conceding lots of goals. It's not been how we've been for the last couple of years. We were a bit like that when I first took over, but we're not bad at the back these days, and that's a little worrying. I mean, not worrying enough for the game to be in threat, really, at any point, but still, we shouldn't be conceding 4 goals across 2 legs against a team like Galatasaray. Toto is nearly in again. Right, Seminar, there we go. We're through to the semi-final. We will have a little look to see who we get. I think the draw's in a couple of days' time, so we'll just race through to the semi-final draw to see who we've got. That's going to be the next episode. So yes, the game was won. Yeah, they got stuck in. Who cares? Yeah, whatever. Yes, the chairman's lovely. Yeah, all this stuff's great. We want the draw, though. Before we do that, rest the players. FA Cup semi-final coming up. You don't normally see the behind-the-scenes stuff. Rest them. And now we await the Champions League semi-final draw. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to buy players even though I'm not going to be at the club next season, hopefully, if we win the Champions League. This guy's coming in. He looks quite good as well. Central midfielder, 17 years old. You'll never see him play for us, but, you know, whoever takes over is going to benefit from him. So, lucky them. What's happening here? Who do we want? I don't even know who's left in the Champions League at this point. All I know is there's no English teams. It worries me. It really does. I imagine Bayern Munich are still knocking around, and they had us on our backs in the group. We really struggled against them, and we could do without. Hang about though. Real Madrid and PSG are both. Oh no, they're Champions League as well. I thought that was Europa League. So Bilbao and PSG are in. I just don't know who the third option is. I mean, Bilbao wouldn't be wouldn't be a disaster, would it? I can't imagine them being that good, surely. They're the sort of team that if I did embark on a European tour after this, they're the sort of team who I'd think, oh, I'll go there. That's a bit of a challenge. It's not going to Barcelona or Real Madrid. It'll be a bit more fun than Man City's been because it'll be hard to win. But here they are, Champions League semi-final. Perhaps they're not on my shopping list. Although you would also think if they're playing above themselves this season, whoever their manager is has got a good shout to take over for me if we can secure a Champions League win and I move on. Right, yeah, all this is lovely. Lots of players. Come on, give us a draw. Where's my Pepsi Max? Probably should, I should have the Coke Zero. Got to keep these things evened out. Right, view draw. So, PSG, Bilbao, and Bayern Munich. That's not who we want. Right, kind of got my eyes shut. Right, I want Bilbao, so we want Bayern Munich to come out of the pot here. Oh, for goodness sake, it was the one we didn't want. Well, I guess we would have to beat them at some point if we're going to have any chance of winning the tournament. And, we've just got to do it at the semi-final stage. When is that game? Either side of a Norwich game. So we'll do the same thing we've done on today's episode. We'll do the first and the second leg in the same episode. It might even wind up being a free live com episode. We might be able to win the league in the Norwich game in between as well, which would be rather exciting. But Bayern Munich, for goodness sake. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more, and thank you very much for watching. Pepsi Max, anybody?